Hi y'all, it's Kara from the Transformation Mom for ABCDE, and last time we tried to create a page for our December daily, we had made a simple waterfall and it just had a piece of paper and they all fill up. So I wanted to try to show you guys how to make this really cool waterfall that when you pull this circle down here, it flips up and then you can push it all back in. So that's what we are going to make today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out and try to create this. And I'm again going to use one of these red envelopes that we had got for our December daily from the Dollar Tree. So I am going to move this over here so you can see this. Again, this is my Carl trimmer. This is a DC 290 or 220N. And as I said before, I always start by finding the middle of that folder and zip her down there. I'm just going to move this over just a little bit so that I can do this. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to cut off the top to make sure that we have a nice flat edge over here. Now, I want to see how tall this is. So this is just about 8. So that's a little too small, but what I could do is we need 8 1/4, because again, our the pages are 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So I always put it 1/4 of an inch smaller just so that I have that. So it's 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that gives us our base page. So now I'm going to work on getting us a pattern piece of paper that needs to be 5 by 8. And what I thought was that maybe this reindeer peeking out might be fun. Or I thought maybe the reindeer for here. So let me see what the other sheet I have has on it. It has this little mousey sleeping. So that might be cute. So I think I'm going to use the mousey sleeping. And I am let's try to get that off my disc. And we're going to have to try to get this, it's 8 tall, which is what I need, but I need to get it to 5 wide. So let's take it this way and see if I cut his right off to his bottom there. There's that part. And we'll save all these scraps for something else. And there's the 5 part. So now we have our background piece of paper. So the next thing that we need to do is get our base cardstock for the for this piece right here. There's a base page in here, and you can see that it is 4 here, and then you can see that it goes all the way down to here. So it has this part here. If I shove it in here, that is about 6 1/2 inches, and and then it has another addition onto it, which is another, I want to say, I'm trying to think how big this was, 4. So it's about 11 inches. So it actually ends up being about 4 by 11. So first thing I wanted to show you was we got to cut this little piece that's right here too. So that little piece is actually 5 by 1 1/2. So we'll cut that off real quick while we're here. 5 by 1 1/2. I just And again, like I said, the only thing I don't like about this is how sometimes stuff gets stuck underneath there. And then the pattern paper needs to be 4.75 by 1 1/4. So let's see, this page is only 1. So we're going to have to use this. This is my 1 1/4. kind of like Santa's finger giving him the present. So I'm going to try to keep that part. So we're going to try to line this up. Sometimes I usually try to get it out one side. So there's that part, and now I need it to be 4.75. And there, it's kind of cute because you'll see that part kind of there. Okay, now we need 4 base pages, which are the pages that actually cause this flip up here. And we also need the 11 by 4 page. Just trying to clean up a little bit here. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the 11 by 4 page. So there's our 4. And then we're going to cut this to 11. So that gives us our nice base page. And then I'm probably gonna have to go grab another folder here, but okay, so it says 4, and then we need to do about 4.5. And we need 4 of them. So 1, 2, so there's 2 4 by 4.5. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I can go look in my scraps from the other pages that we've made, and I can see if I can find another page. Let's see how, that's just 8. Okay, so that is just 8. So I need to cut this to 4 because that will give us 4 and 4. And you can see that I try to utilize every last little piece of this that I can. So 4.5 and the 4.5. I can see my camera is slightly moving because of my vibrations. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, and then for those, you'll need 8 pieces of pattern paper, which I've already cut from the various pieces. So I've already cut those just to not have to do those on camera. So now I'm going to move this off the side. Now you need to get your scoreboard. So it's time for our scoreboards. So the first thing that you want to do is remember we had all those, the 4 pages that we had they're 4 by 4.5. And you want to get on the 4.5 side, and we're going to actually make them 4 by 4 squares. So you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Pull that down so you can actually see what I'm doing. So you have 4.5, you score at 1/2 inch. 4.5, score at 1/2 inch. 4.5, score at the 1/2 inch. And then we will fold these over and make sure the fold's nice, because this is actually what gets it to flip over. Okay, so there is that part now. Now we need to grab our 11-inch piece, our 4 by 11-inch piece. You're going to put it in so that you have the long end along the top. And we're going to score it at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and 4. Okay, so now we have that scored. And I'm actually going to just put this aside for now. Now, you can kind of fold it. So you're kind of folding it to make it look like a kind of a railroad track is the best way I can put it. And now you're going to get these little pieces and you're gonna put them on here. So I'm gonna use my Scotch glue because you know that that's my favorite. Of course, my what I call my disaster tile is not here. So all you're going to do is just try to line this up both ways. Make sure that it's lined up on the top. And try to make sure that it's as square as possible. And you want to make sure that the fold, that it's going to fold up that way. It does make a difference in the end. Because you want it to be able to flip correctly. Sorry if I just had my head in your way. I like to make sure that, you got to make sure that it's really straight so that the mechanism works correctly. You don't want the mechanism not to work on you. Now there's all that was. Okay. So we're gonna set this aside for a second. And I am going to get the little pattern paper, which was I think was 1 1/4 by 5. And put it on the 1 1/2 by 5 1/2 piece. Okay, so now we're trying to make the pull. So we have that part. We also need to get this pattern paper on the base paper. Again, this is 8 by 5 because the base pattern paper, the base red is 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. There's that. Now we need to glue the bottom of this red part on the back to this pole. So we are going to glue these two things together, okay? So again, we know that this is 1 1/2 inches, 1 1/4 inches, or 1 1/2 inches. So we want to make sure that we get enough glue on this, and Usually I will use sequin for this just because I like it to be really strong, because again, this is what makes the magic happen. So you don't want to inadvertently have this rip off somehow. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there, and now see, it's on the back side of this, okay? So now I'm going to pull up my sequin, and then I'm also going to just put a little bit of glue in between those two strips, just to be kind of doubly sure that this is going to stick well. And you want to get it, and you want to figure out which side you want up top. Kind of like, and you're gonna, you know, just, I eyeball this. You could measure it if you wanted, but you're gonna just get that even and stick her down. Okay, so now there is that part. Okay, so you can see we just stuck that down. So now the next part that gotta happen is we need to stick this down to there. But before I do that, I am going to find a piece of pattern paper that's 3.75 by 6.5 to put on the back. And like I said, I was thinking about using this. So I'm going to cut it to 3.75. By 6.5, and there you got that part now. Look at how neat that's gonna look. I like it so far. Sometimes when you do things in your head, when you start to actually do them, they don't turn out as well as you would like. But I'm pretty excited about how this is turning out so far. So we're gonna just put that right there. Okay. And one of the other things I'm going to do while we're here, so I'm going to grab one of these little pieces. I don't know if this one's, we're just going to get, this is an EK Success 1 1/4 inch hole punch. And I'm just going to, while I'm here, I'm going to put this on the back here, just so that it's there and ready to go. And you can see I'm more of a, I have my favorite adhesives in that I have what I like to use and not like to use, but I don't, there's only certain times where I use certain things that, you know, I don't, what I want to say, I don't discriminate against any adhesive when I'm working on stuff. So there's my nice little pool back there. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit there. Get my handy dandy towel. And clean up my mess on the back here. See, I make a mess. My kids listen to this song and it goes, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I'm a big old messy mess. It's by Lori Berkner. So yeah, that's what I feel like a lot of times anymore. So like I said, I'm not going to do this on camera, but I just wanted to show you. So, you know, you're going to put those, your pattern papers on here, and then you're going to make sure when you put the ones, because this is going to flip up, so they need to be facing this way. So they're going to look like they're upside down. So I will get those on there and show those to you at a different time, but that way you can at least see. I'll do a couple here in a second. So what you're going to do is get, I used 1/4 inch sequin because you don't want it to really interfere with this. And you get your 1/4 inch sequin and you're going to put it right here on the very edge of this part. Now, one of the problems that I had with my first one that I made of these is I actually put it down too close to the bottom. So just, you got to be really aware of where you're putting this so that it operates correctly. Okay, so you can see on this one, you know, when I put it on there, I put it, sorry, my mail's coming in. I put it about 3 inches down from the top of that pattern paper. So just about 3 inches is where I ended up putting that. So you're going to take off the sequin. And again, just about 3 inches. And can you see what I'm doing? I think so. And there's that part. So now when you pull it, they all flip up. So, and the more you use it, the better it will get, and you know, just make sure you're folding the folds and you'll get to it. So like I said, I'll just do a couple of these with you. So I'm going to put these 4 on the front, and then I'm going to put the other stuff on the back, but I'll at least make sure you see what I was talking about. So when you put on your outside paper goes normal, what I'm going to call normal way. I just folded this over a little bit, and I want to see if I can try to fix it real quick without ripping it. Okay. So your outside paper can go on normal way. But when I pull this, it's going to flip over. So you see that one flips over. So when I go to put on my back paper, and I think I'm going to use these quotes on this side. You need to put it that way. Okay. So that is our mechanical looking flip page. So there it is. So again, this is Kara from the Transformation Mom for ABCDE, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you guys have a great day.